Hello, my name's Ike Sturm, and this is Jesse Lewis. Our band is called Endless Field, and we're here at the New York Botanical Garden, and we're so happy to be here in this beautiful setting. This is the Wetland Trail, and this place feels like such a natural place for us to hang out. Our music is really affected by nature and by critical ecosystems like this one here. The garden set today is going to feature a poem, an award-winning poem by the poet Meera Dasgupta. And I hope you're going to enjoy this whole program. Thanks for being with us. The first song we're going to play today is a song called Life on Earth. The sentiment behind this tune was thinking about people coming together, difficult times like these, and somehow projecting a message of hope. When people work together and we put our resources and our hearts together, what we can accomplish. And I hope you'll feel some of that inspiration. This is Life on Earth. really proud to be part of an environmental record label that's called Biophilia Records. Each of the artists that participate on the label participate in cleanup programs and tree plantings, river cleanups, all sorts of communal gatherings that happen throughout the year. And it's a very small thing that we can do, but it's something that ties the label together, and I think it makes each of us think about what we can do as human beings and as musicians and artists. And it's really taken us in some different directions. Last year, Jesse and I went out to do an environmental benefit and recorded an entire album out in Utah in the wilderness using a solar battery and a team of engineers from National Geographic. And today we're actually recording everything with our solar battery, and we're totally unplugged out here, and it allows us to go to some pretty cool places like this. So we're really grateful to be a part of all of this. We'll be back with more music, but first let's turn to an award-winning poem read by Meera Dasgupta. It's called Happily Ever After, The End.
Hi, my name is Meera. I'm 16 years old and I currently go to Stuyvesant High School. I'm also the current 2020 United States Youth Poet Laureate with Urban Word NYC and the National Youth Poet Laureate. And currently I'm at the New York Botanical Garden. This was the first poem that I wrote in terms of spoken word for Climate Speaks, which happened a year ago at the Apollo. You can hear in the poem I talk about wildfires, pollution, and many other issues which I've seen and have impacted communities around me. And especially in the city, pollution is a very large factor in the way that we live our lives, and we truly have to learn to change that because factories actually make up most of carbon emissions. And it's up to us as global citizens in order to advocate on behalf of those who can't advocate for themselves. So that's my mindset when I was going into this poem and as I continue to recite it. Once upon a time, I was 5 years old and I loved the movies. It was a realm of possibilities where the imagination could run wild. I believed in magic. Once upon a time, I remember being elated when my mom took me to the theater. Eyes twinkling, smile bright once upon a time. The smell of popcorn wafting through the air. The movie Rio began to play, where mystical blue-feathered birds spoke the impossible was possible. And the worst problem in the world was running out of M&Ms. Little did I know that Blue was dead. His species wiped out, life losing to greed. Wildfires crackling, smoke darkening, children asphyxiated by cloud of debris, no more movies, only cable news. Take a breath in, fire combusting in the lungs, stop breathing, feels like you're drowning. Deterioration of society as the red in our blood fills with lead, perhaps. This is why we don't seem to care anymore when rivers run a sickly orange instead of blue. Finding Nemo is futile. He has already passed, smothered with the spilled oil of a tanker, I feel. The guilt of humanity, a burden on our shoulders. Turn on the faucet, turn it off, turn on the light, turn it off. Don't drive in your car when you can walk to the market. First-degree murder. Factories spitting fumes into the sky. Don't you know smoking is bad for you? Second-degree murder, getting sucked into consumerism where green paper is worth more than lives. Third-degree murder, watching it happen, a world beaten and bruised by the elements. Millions displaced, living things burning, skinned alive. Won't you just let the spell be lifted? Magic is gone. And speed dialing Cinderella's fairy godmother won't solve our problems. If climate change were a crime, we'd all be in jail. Our homes, our prisons, our actions, our jailers. Once upon a time, I believed that the world was perfect. But now, I know it's not. And if we don't take the time to pick up the broken pieces of what we shattered, there will be no more happily ever afters. The end. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and remember to keep on living sustainably at whatever is possible for your current capacity at this time.
Thank you, Meera. For our next song, we'd like to play a tune called Old Man, and this was written by our guitarist Jesse Lewis in honor of his father. For our last song today, we're going to play a tune called The Curious Fox and the Deer. A friend of ours named this for us after a lot of our adventures with wildlife. We've had deer sticking their heads in our basement window right as we're playing songs, and a fox came up and watched Jesse as he was practicing this song on the beach at about 5 in the morning one day, and they just had a nice little moment. We've had all sorts of little stories with animals, and so this is an honor and in tribute to them. This is Curious Fox and the Deer. We hope if there's one takeaway from this music set today, that it would be an urgency around voting, and that you would find a way to make your voice be heard this fall and early winter, that you would find a way to search out elected officials that can honor beautiful places like this and critical ecosystems, the way that we handle plastics, and just such a sense of urgency around this Climate Week. And we hope that that would translate into you finding a way to express your voice. Thank you so much for joining us here for our garden set at the New York Botanical Garden.